Satyam.
And I'm Aditya, and welcome to another episode of a podcast.
So, guys, today we have a very special guest with us. He is the former co-lead of our club Matrix, and he's been a data science intern at LinCode India. So, we welcome you all, Shivang Bhaiya. Hello, Bhaiya.
Hello, thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Working.
बस चल रहा है.
चल रहा है, okay.
So, we have a lot of questions lined up from our batch, juniors batch, and everything. And they are quite curious about how you got your intern and what you're doing over there. But before that, like Satya mentioned, you're a co-lead at Matrix. How was the experience?
At Kohli.
As a co-lead in this club, what did you learn?
It was great. I got to learn a lot of things. That my computer vision journey started with Matrix actually. I started like first initially I used to do a lot of data science part, like the EDA and all that stuff. I was in love with that, but when I came into the field of computer vision, I left all of that behind with me, and now currently I don't do that. So yeah, after that in Matrix we had a lot of that hackathons and all that stuff. I loved that, and basically my leadership skills enhanced in that. So yeah, it was pretty good time, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So, now as a part of the club, and just for a common knowledge of all the students, do you think networking is very important, and does being in clubs help in that networking part?
Yeah, absolutely. Networking is an essential part because the job market is pretty tough right now, and getting referrals makes it a lot easier. Because like when you apply to jobs at LinkedIn or any other position like at Internshala, you'll have like 1,000+ participants, 1,000+ different competitors for you. But when do you have a good network, right? So you'll have some great referrals with you. So if you have referrals, you'll jump over all those 1,000 people, and then it will be quite easy for you to get that job because all of your competitors are at same level with you. And if you want some edge, so definitely that referral works. So yeah, networking is definitely important.
Okay, so the title of like your position of the club, did that affect somewhere outside? Like,
I won't say like it helps in the job scenario a lot, because they essentially don't look a lot into the leadership part because first of all, what they will go through is what are your past experience. But considering we are catering the people who don't have an experience because they are like looking for their first internships, I would say. So your projects matter a lot here, not your leadership skills. That's a secondary thing, leadership skills. But having those is absolutely a great point. Yeah.
So, just to build on that, you told projects. Now, projects, there are, we have a lot of, you can say, classical projects and trend focused projects. So, like, classical project would be basic sentiment analysis or something like that. And then we have, you can say, the trend based focus, like Gen AI projects and everything. So, do you think that in the current domain, it is very important to keep up with the trend, especially if you are a newbie into the domain? Is it going to help you if you are up with the trend and you have projects related to the trend?
Yeah, absolutely. You should like AI field is like growing very fast. If you are not updated with the trend, every 2 to 3 months new technologies come up. As you might have seen with the Gen AI you are talking about, right? Now you might have seen the emergence of RAG technologies, but now that is also a past because agent-based technologies are taking over right now. So if you knowledge of RAG, that is not enough. Right now you need to know about how different agents cater different parts of a RAG application, all that stuff. That's just an example I'm giving. So coming on to the projects, one good thing I would like to say is if you need to build a good portfolio for your resume, two type of projects are really important. One project, it should show your like a good in-depth understanding of your knowledge in the field of deep learning or whatever you're doing. Like if for me, taking my example, I was doing computer vision. So one research project, if you are in your college, so one research project really helps because
that is a must.
I would say it helps. That's not a must. Because a research project will add novelty to your portfolio because it's absolutely unique compared to what you will find on YouTube or GitHub based projects because you will be like using that, but directly. I hope, because majority of the people initially they just copy the code. Like
Right.
they'll watch a 3 hour video, maybe some people watch 8 hour videos, and just whatever the code is there, they just copy and they don't learn a lot. They just understand that okay, this is the flow and how that works, but actual coding part they haven't learned. So all those stuff apart from that, if you have that, doesn't show some great knowledge of your in-depth concepts in the field of whatever you're doing. So yeah, I would say research part absolutely works, because then you will be using your own knowledge to build something. So yeah, research definitely helps. Okay, coming on to the second project, it should be some end-to-end project, because currently in the market, currently if you don't have a knowledge of deployment and some backend technologies, it wouldn't be going to be enough if you want to apply as a data science intern, because everybody want that. Because currently just building a data science mod, like data science build basic project of that, basically the deep learning model, if you have built, but if you cannot use it as a product, or you cannot use show it as a product, that's not enough. You need to deployment is definitely important, and you need to show that whatever you have built, that can be used as a product, because as a business use case, right? And if you have built a model, that's just not enough. You need to have a use case for that, otherwise it will just end up somewhere and you won't be getting any calls. End-to-end project is a must nowadays. So yeah.
Okay, so Bhaiya, coming to the next question, in this generation where everybody are running behind the field of natural language processing, what inspired you to go into the field of computer vision?
Nothing inspired me, man. So what happened is I got a um, just one day I got a call from one of my like teachers. So they said that I would like to give you a project. Basically, I'll pay some money and you need to do that project for me. So I would say that time I was struggling a bit with my life. Like I didn't have any internships or anything like that. I was studying a lot, but nothing was helping out. So that opportunity quite, I thought like it would be helpful for me. That time I wasn't into computer vision a lot. I was also in the field of NLP, but as I got that project, so I started with that, and then I got into computer vision, and it's been about 1 year since I have been into that project. So I have built a lot, and currently I'm in the process of writing a research paper also on that. So yeah, so basically that's how my computer vision part started. And because I said right, some good understanding of deep learning and computer vision, or whatever the specialized skills you would be asking, computer vision or NLP. So that I used that project as my flagship project, because it was basically very unique. Nobody, almost, I wouldn't say like anyone has that, because it's a technology called federated learning, and it's a pretty new trend in the market. No one is using that. So yeah, I use that as a flagship project. My current internship also is, I would like to say that that project really helped me to get land that internship. Yeah.
Okay, so coming to internships and job opportunities, like what are various opportunities in the field of computer vision? Like we are aware of natural language processing and everything, but just give a bit of exposure on this computer vision field. Where can the students go, basically?
So like what exactly do you mean by where can the students go?
But I think what we
The job role?
the job role, and like you can see that NLP has a bigger boom because of Chat GPT and all those things coming out. We haven't seen any such applications. Like there are applications like Tesla's auto drive would works on computer vision.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you consider generative AI, some people just work on multi-agents and everything, right? Some people work on fine-tuning, correct? So is there something in computer vision like?
Absolutely. Whatever works for a text-based application also works for image-based application. So whatever technologies you have been seeing in the field of NLP, whatever the new generative AI tools that have been coming up in the field of NLP, same tools also exist in the field of computer vision as well. You can fine-tune a model on your image data. You can fine-tune any LLM on your image data. That also works. You can build a RAG application using an image data. That also works. And currently, as you might have known, like there's a model architecture called transformer. So absolutely, I think you might know that. Also, there exists a transformer for the field of vision called vision transformer. In also for, if you know about a task called object detection. So object detection task is one of the most famous and widely used tasks in the field of computer vision. Companies use that a lot. And there's also a separate transformer, separate generative AI libraries for detection transformers as well. And there are multiple models for them, and you can find a lot of information of that on Hugging Face. So yeah, similar things whatever you find in LLP are also in field of computer vision. Of course, right now the job market is like, the trend is towards NLP a lot. So if you are a person, if you just want a job and you're not focused on that, like I should learn or NLP, I should learn computer vision. If you're not that, if you are a person like I just need a job right now, so I would say to go to NLP, because currently like 7 to 8 jobs out of 10 would be based on NLP only. But that doesn't mean you won't get a job in field of computer vision. If you have good knowledge on field of computer vision, if you have good knowledge of transformers, I was asked transformers in my interview, and just because I had a knowledge of that, so he was quite impressed with that. So if you have knowledge, just deep level knowledge of any field is good enough. But as the job market is aligned towards NLP right now, just because of chatbots, because currently in the generative AI based applications right now we are using, so we only use chat applications. Like we don't want to give a text prompt, like the image prompt basically. Yeah. Because that's quite hectic. Giving a text based prompt is very easy. So all those applications companies also adapt towards currently right now. Also, image based applications are quite hectic, because image data, like training those models are like very resource, it takes a lot of resource for that. So yeah, that's why companies won't align towards that. But companies that do, they pay really well. There's a company called Stability AI. They pay a lot. They pay a lot in the field of computer vision. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a good
Just
information.
to build on it, so I personally come from NLP side,
Yeah.
and I found computer vision a very intimidating thing. Like, oh my god, what is this thing? What are we doing over here? It was a bit complicated to understand it when I started off. So now, do you think that as a beginner, did you also go through the same thing when you started computer vision? You told you also came from NLP first. So when you started computer vision, was it a bit intimidating for you, or?
Um, I wouldn't say it was intimidating to me, because the analogy remains the same. Because only that processing parts, because in the field of NLP, I would say the processing part is bit easier compared to what you will go through in the field of computer vision. All the steps regarding tokenization, stemming, and all those stuff, predefined libraries exist. But in the field of computer vision, if you don't have the understanding of what you're doing, you cannot use the library efficiently, because like all those stuff you need to first do it manually. First of all, manual understanding is required. But I would say it was quite fascinating, because working with image data, you can actually see the each of the process and how the image is converting, and before it is getting feeded into the deep learning model. I was quite fascinated with that, and it was really good. And I won't say that everybody will be intimidated with that, but for the people that do, I would give one suggestion: just like for that moment, just try to like learn it. After that, it will be quite exciting, I would say.
Okay. Let's rewind back a bit. So you said that initially you were into data analytics, EDA, and everything. So how did you come into data science? Like before that, were you doing
Yeah,
something like web
I was-
development or something? Because there are 4 to 5 seniors whom we have
I
taken the podcast with, and everyone has the same story.
Everyone starts off with
web dev and app dev. So
No.
do you have the similar story?
Yeah, I would say I definitely have a similar story. Okay, I'll start with the start of my college.
Yeah.
What happened is, for the first semester, it was online, low, so no interest in studies and all, right? Just completed JE, JE advanced, all that. So I just wanted to study in the first semester. So first semester just gone by. Everybody generally learns a programming language in the first semester, but I didn't do that, because I just didn't wanted to study in the first semester. For the second semester we came, so yeah, that's it. I cannot say anything. Yeah. So second semester I came, and we came in the middle of the semester. So all that, the first part of that semester I didn't study. So the second part I didn't understand anything. So my second, yeah. So third part also basically. Basically, you can say that. And also, we were a COVID batch, so we didn't get a summer vacation that time to like get my life back on track. Because generally what happens is for the freshers, if you have even wasted your first semester, first year, if I would say, you generally have a long 3 month break, right? So, but for me, it was like 2 weeks, I would say. 2 weeks, I guess. That's it. Yeah, we had 2 weeks. So we only had 2 weeks. So that also like I started Java that time. So I thought because people in my family are there in some companies and they have been working as a Java developer. So I was told by them to like basically start doing Java. That would be good. So I started Java, and Java was my first language basically. I didn't do C, C++, whatever was called in taught in college. So yeah, Java was my first language. I started with Java and just completed Java basically, whatever the programming fundamentals and all that. I started DSA in Java. At the same time, with one of my friend, I started with web development. Yeah, in the third semester, I started with web development. Uh, I completed HTML and I came up with a very long 8-hour video from Code with Harry regarding CSS. And oh my God, that video, man! It was like CSS is a very boring thing. Like for some people who are into creative stuff and all that, because my friend completed that. I don't want to say the name of my friend, but he completed the entire video and he loved it. He even continued that. Went into advanced CSS and all that, but I couldn't do that. For that semester, I just dropped my concept of web development. Like I don't want to do this shit.
I too gave up at CSS itself.
Yeah, so yeah, but I would say front end is a bit boring for some people, but people who like logic, who like machine learning would definitely enjoy backend development. Because currently I have learned backend development also. So I would say that at that time, if I would have learned backend development, I would say that currently maybe I would have been a backend developer also, not a machine learning engineer. So yeah, after that, what happened is after the third semester, in the December break, I thought like, okay, not web development, then what? So I got into a video of Shraddha Kapra from what is his channel? Apna College, right? Apna College.
Yes.
So Shraddha Didi. So basically, she told there are three things, four things exactly. So two are in development, web development, app development. So I thought web development is shit. So similarly, app development would have been same. So I didn't consider that.
Same mentality.
So I did consider that.
Yeah. And third thing was data science and machine learning. And fourth was cybersecurity. So I thought I would explore both, but from the starting of my like journey with all those stuff from my fourth class and fifth class, quite liked the maths part like a lot. My favorite subject in 11th, 12th was also maths. So I thought she told that maths is a lot involved in data science and machine learning. So I thought maybe starting with this would be better. And after that, maybe 1 to 2 months, I'll go into this and then I'll switch into cybersecurity. Maybe that. So I started learning Python that time. I thought maybe I knew the basics of Java, but all the programming fundamentals. But I still thought maybe learning Python from scratch would be better. I gave about 1 month to Python. I learned Python in 1 month. I gave about 2 months to NumPy and Pandas. Only two, matlab, like exactly 2 months for NumPy and Pandas. It's a lot. I know people can do that in a single week, but I gave about 2 months. After that, I started machine learning. Okay, and machine learning, I started with a Udemy course. I don't remember the name. I just started with that. Not really. It was something from 365 data science, I guess. I don't remember the exact name, but it was a course from like something based on data science bootcamp or something like that. So it was from 365 data science. After that, I did that, but it was like I didn't understand what we are doing exactly. Just 2 lines of code and that's it. We are using a model. Like, ho. So yeah, but it was not interesting. After that, I got to know about Andrew NG. So that's where it started. That's where it exactly started. The legend Andrew NG. I completed that course. After that, I completed its deep learning course. After that, like it was a period where about 5 to 6 months, I like felt what to do now, because I thought after Andrew NG I can apply for internships, similar stuff, because I thought maybe he teaches in such a way and he teaches projects as well, something like that. But after Andrew NG I was quite lost in my life actually, I would say, because for 5 to 6 months I couldn't do anything. I would say like what I should do now, because all the courses on YouTube which I saw, they started from start.
Yeah.
But what happens is when you have already completed everything, so you don't want to start from start, and then at the middle of course somewhere they teach you a project, and then they say for this project you must know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Even I knew all those stuff, but I thought just because he's a different teacher, so maybe he might have taught something like extraordinary or something else, maybe which Andrew and didn't teach, or maybe which I haven't like studied previously. So yeah, but after that, those 5 to 6 months, I couldn't like do anything like exactly, I would say, because I was quite lost in my life. After that, huh, I was back on track after that project which I got from my professor. Yeah.
Okay.
After that, I started working.
It was in fourth semester.
This was in November 2023, so it is, I guess, fifth semester.
Okay.
It was in my fifth semester. Yeah,
Hmm.
I said right. And okay, in the middle, Motork happened. If you know what Motork is.
Yeah, we have heard that you were the one who was almost going to complete that assignment.
I completed 4 out of 6 questions, still didn't get selected because he came up with 4 to 5 different bonus questions also, and he expected that we would have completed 6 questions like in 3 to 4 hours, and again all those 4 questions in again like 2 to 3 hours maybe.
Okay.
So in 7 to 8 hours, I would have got into Motork, but I took about 12 hours. No, not 12 hours. Okay, I started at 9. I worked up. Okay, I took 10 hours. 7 o'clock in the evening. That was my point. I just gave up. He told me that you can take your time if you want to take more time and you can do these questions, but I just gave up. I just thought like this is shit, man. I cannot do that because I have been working straight from like 10 hours from 9 o'clock in the morning. Previous night, because at that time I just completed Andrew NG and I was not in touch with pandas, and they told that everything will be based on pandas or SQL.
Yeah.
So I studied about 2 to 3 hours. I revised pandas last night. Didn't sleep also. Next morning again he started us. I just gave up, and after that only 5 to 6 months. Just I was just confused in my life because I thought pandas is not required.
What was the learning from that assignment?
Learning from that Motok assignment. Okay, so I should have like started learning something new, or maybe I should have like focused more on like some cutting edge technologies or some cutting edge new projects. But I just thought maybe my panda skills are not good enough. Even though I gave about 2 months for NumPy and pandas, I still couldn't do the task. So I just, confidence just dips down if you haven't done something. Because I saw my SDE friends, for them, they completed all their questions. Even they completed 3 of their bonus questions as well. But for the data science people, no one was able to do anything. So I thought maybe our college data science standards are low or something like that. So just that, because of that only, like next 5 to 6 months were shit for me. Like I couldn't do anything. After that, this I told right, this professor thing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that project. I started working into that, and yeah, after that I like worked with that only. And after that, I was looking for internships, didn't get any. Then I came up with a platform called Omdena, and it's a platform for open source projects where you collaborate with people all around the world. It's about 200 to 300 people will collaborate for 2 to 3 months in a project.
Okay.
The project, it's basically all real world projects which you will be simulating. And my project was to predict suitable farming areas in the city of Milan, Italy. It's actually a thing. Like they cannot do urban farming in the city of Milan actually. So we were told to build a solution for that. And if we would have built a good solution which actually like mitigated that problem, so maybe they would have paid us also, and all that stuff would have happened. But it was like our project was not up to that mark, but I got to learn quite a lot because work environment matters, right? So because I was in touch with so many people, everyday calls and all that stuff. So yeah, got to learn a lot from that. I learned about GeoPandas. There's a library called GeoPandas, extension of pandas. So geospatial data. It works very well with geospatial data. Geospatial, it's all about X and Y coordinates. Everything you will be seeing, it will be a spatial space, like uh, coordinate system, right?
All this satellite thing.
Everything will be in a coordinate system. So everything, whatever you see, it will be in a 2D space, not 1D space. So for that, if you want to work with all those data, you need a specialized library, and that's where I learned GeoPandas. And yeah, so I basically we use GeoPandas for the pre-processing. We use an XGBoost model for building our model, and after that we did the hyperparameter optimization using Optuna. And again, I learned a technology called MLflow in that internship. MLflow, yeah. So it's a platform for basically monitoring your applications. So you can see how your application is performing. You can see all your hyperparameters, all that stuff. So MLflow, and after that, we just deployed our app on Streamlit because we were less slight on time. We first thought of building a fast API applications with a React front end, but after that, because we were not having that much time, so we thought maybe Streamlit would be better. So we used a Streamlit app. So yeah, that was about Omnena. After that, I still didn't get any real world internship yet, but I had an internship to add on my resume. So yeah, after that, still I was applying on LinkedIn, still I was applying on Internshala, got a lot of projects from Internshala, did a lot of projects from Internshala, quite hectic projects. They are just giving you 8,000 rupees and they say to build a digital avatar or something. It, it took about, I would say, 2 weeks to build a project, and it still didn't get selected. And I just like one day came to me. What I did is I unsubscribed Internshala, just deleted it. I am done with Internshala that day. Seriously. So after that, still I was applying on LinkedIn. Okay. And one day I got a call from LinCode that we actually quite liked your profile and we would like to interview you. So are you free for an like
So that was from LinkedIn itself.
I applied it on LinkedIn. I didn't remember actually that where did I apply it because I was applying rigorously on a daily basis on multiple platforms, Naukri, Glassdoor, LinkedIn. But after that, I saw a job posting on LinkedIn. Then I realized, okay, I might have applied here. So yeah, so she said that next day was my exam actually, and I got a call from her. She said that are you free tomorrow? But I was of course I wasn't free tomorrow, and the next day, upcoming day of my exam, I had a BTP presentation, so I scheduled it. Okay, fine. Interview happened basically, and that 1 hour interview, I was that research project I told you about, right? I was working on that project for 1 year, one whole year. 1 year, yeah. Let's say 10 months. Currently, it's 1 year. That time it was 10 months, September. So he taught me a lot in that 1 hour, which I haven't learned in that entire year. Seriously. I didn't even knew about that this could happen with my project. Like this is also possible. He told me multiple scenarios, but like he was quite interested in how like he didn't want me to say that I haven't implemented this. He just wanted to know, can I implement this, or how is my thought process in that. So he was quite intrigued with that. Also, I had a good understanding of whatever I was building. I used transfer learning technique and I used a model called MobileNet V2. Generally, people don't know the architectures of whatever the base models they were using, but I knew about that, so that helped a lot. Because he asked me the architecture of MobileNet V2. Okay. So yeah, so I just told that, and he said, okay. So I didn't expected you to like say this architecture, but he said that if you have said that's a good thing. Also, after that, he told me about Resonate and yeah, so that also happened. So basically, LinCode happened at that time. Next round was a DSA round, and I was not that good in DSA, but yeah, still just got in. Okay, so at the end of my first round, so like my interviewer was quite like interested. He said that your project seems interesting because I told right novelty matters. Yeah. My project was like really novel. That's why he liked that, and also my approach he liked that because it's a research based project. It's unique. That's why I told try implementing research papers or do a research based project. That really helps. Also, at the end, he told me there might be a second round. I'm not allowed to say you that, but he just like hinted me that there will be a second round, and he said that you will be asked questions on DSA. And that moment, that's the moment. I just thought there will be one round and second round will be a HR round or something because I was told by HR that you will only have 2 rounds. And then he told there will be a DSA round.
Let's go.
And at the second round, I just thought that okay, let's this is it. Nothing would happen, I would say. But okay, I got a call from HR. Okay, so this was on Friday when my interview happened. On that day, there was a competition called Amazon ML School which started.
Okay.
Right. Amazon ML Challenge. That's
The
cool.
computer vision
The
thing, right?
computer vision, that hackathon, that
hackathon,
recent
yeah.
hackathon started.
That hackathon started. Okay, so also that morning I had an interview, and previous night that hackathon has already started. So my teammates, one of your previous podcast guests, Arav Nigam. So we had a meet that night, and so we all discussed everything and how it would start. So because I had an interview, I couldn't like start in the initial phases. So for the next 3 days, again, because I was exhausted from the previous 2 days also, because I had an exam, I had a BTP presentation. Again, I had an interview on Friday. Again, Saturday, Sunday, this Amazon ML thing happened.
5 and 6 are really hectic.
Oh yeah, sometimes that might be, but you'll have to do that. Sunday happened. Okay, and Monday at 12 o'clock we had a submission for Amazon ML. Okay, then I thought I was really high on caffeine that time, like so much caffeine. So I had withdrawal syndrome on Monday because I didn't took caffeine and my just head started shaking. But that day I started playing table tennis in the evening because I just thought maybe it would be good for my mind. But in the evening, after that I thought I would sleep because I haven't slept well in past 1 week. But after that I got a call from HR, and she said tomorrow 12 o'clock you will have a round, and you cannot reschedule it because it's with the vice president of product, LinCode India. And I just what? And then I had, what type of questions can I expect? He said just that basic data science, data structures and algorithms. Thought, man, okay, but for some people it might be basic, but not for me, right? Because
Yeah, okay, so how much DSE did you know at that moment?
At that point,
Yeah.
I have done some questions on arrays and strings. I guess that's it. Okay, actually that's good enough. Arrays and strings. They don't ask beyond that in data science interviews. If you are not applying for a FANG company, basically. Before FANG or any large scale product based companies like Uber and all that, because if you're not applying on that, any startups or anything like that, they are just sufficient on arrays and strings. Good knowledge of arrays and strings, it's fine. At that time, I asked her what type of questions can I expect, and she was searching and sorting algorithms. And I knew about all those algorithms, but I haven't implemented it ever in my life, ever. So that night, again, I couldn't sleep. I implemented everything. I just by hearted all the algorithms, and because I thought maybe next day he'll ask me. And next day, he came up, he asked me, he just asked basic questions of machine learning at the start. I He was not quite interested, I guess. Like he was not quite interested in the interview, I thought, because he was not answering my questions and all that. But initially he would ask about some machine learning basic questions, what is bias, variance, and all that stuff. At the end, he came up with a DSA question. I was just frightening at that point what type of question he will ask. And he asked me how to remove duplicates from an array. I told ChatGPT a day before, give me 20 questions which are highly common to ask for a data science interview. He gave me 20 questions. I practiced all those 20 questions. Fortunately for me, from those 20 questions, only my 2 questions came. And I did those 2 questions. One was this duplication. Other was longest common substring without repeating characters. Both are from LeetCode 75 only. So if you have done LeetCode 75 arrays and strings, I would say that's enough. If you want some more knowledge, LeetCode 150 arrays and strings, that would be good enough. Not beyond that. If you know all those questions, that is good enough. So DSA, not more than that is required.
it's so fun to see, right? Everyone who's done data science and machine learning, the cycle is so common. You start off, you see, oh my god, there's maths. I'll do maths. You do pandas, numpy. Then for some reason, everyone comes to Andrew NG. Everyone's done with Andrew NG. Then they're like, okay, what do I do with my life?
Yeah.
Then they see one YouTube video and then they're like, okay, I need to do a comeback in my life. And then they find an internship and they realize DSA is important. Then they do DSA and then they're like, holy shit, why do I need this? What is this? I don't even need this thing.
Correct.
And then later you go back to the same cycle and you're like, okay, I need to do pandas and numpys because that is what they are asking everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a cycle everywhere.
Did they even ask you about SQL in the interview? Because I
No.
heard that SQL is something very important in data
Okay.
science.
For there are multiple positions in the field of data science. They just say that you are a data science intern, but reading the job role is crucial. For my job role, it was entirely computer vision, like everything like beyond computer vision and advanced computer vision. Knowledge of that would be helpful, it was said. For machine learning interviews, they don't generally ask SQL. For data science interviews, which involve EDA and all that stuff, and some predictive modeling, where you do some predictive modeling. So there, I would say SQL is important. But for the cases where you're building algorithms, which was for my case as a machine learning engineer, my job role is actually a machine learning engineer, but they just say that it is a data science intern because it's a vast field. So yeah, for those positions, SQL is not required.
Okay, let's come a bit more front. Let's talk about someone who's interested in computer vision. Okay? Now, when you come to computer vision, there are a lot of things one can start. Like if you go to YouTube, there are people who just take the pre-trained models, fine-tune them. That is one field. Then there are people who will teach you CNNs and all the basics of computer vision. That is there. I mean, we have lots of data, but they are all scattered here and there. So, if you could suggest anything to any junior, what pipeline they should follow so that they can, come to this, you can say, stage where they can bag an interview by themselves, an internship, not an interview. So, what would that pipeline be?
Pipeline, quite an interesting word. You would have said a roadmap would have been better, but I guess you're doing a lot of data science nowadays. So
Yes.
pipeline. And you said a word, scattered data. So
Too much
that's
data.
so scattered resources would have been a better word, but I would say yeah. So a roadmap. See, roadmap for any job role until unless you have done deep learning won't change. Up to the part you're doing deep learning, everything remains the same. From deep learning, you will have two different paths. One is NLP and one is computer vision. And just from the start, if you want, so basics of Python, just don't give a lot of time. Basics of Python in 2 weeks. I'm talking about a person who at least knows the basics of programming. So Python for 2 weeks. Again, 1 week for NumPy, 1 week for pandas, then maybe 1 week for Matplotlib and Seaborn. That anyways you will learn over the years. And after that, you can go with machine learning. All the machine learning algorithms actually are not required if you like want to transition quick in your life. So that at that point only linear regression and logistic regression that would be good enough. But if you want to learn everything, if you want to know why we are doing deep learning and why not any other machine learning algorithm, then I would say going into decision trees and all that, all the algorithms, SVMs and all that stuff. So I would say that is better to if you know that. Let's say machine learning a 1.5 month, and after that you can get into deep learning. Let's say another month for deep learning. For deep learning, I'm talking about types of neural networks, and here all the CNN aspects, all those part. If you okay, let's go with that in computer vision. Fine. So okay, so neural network, you should know about the basics of neural network. You should know what type of neural networks are and different procedures in neural network. What is backpropagation? What are activation functions? What is optimizers and all that stuff. So everything of that sort is required. After that, you can transition. At least I would say before that, do a project, one on classification on machine learning, not deep learning project, machine learning project, one on regression with machine learning. After that, you can get into deep learning. Again, the same thing. Use that deep learning algorithm, basically a neural network, and do a project on same project which you have done on regression and classification in machine learning. Do that with ANN. ANN is basically artificial neural network. So do that same project with ANN, and you can see the differences. Like try to analyze what difference did you see. Just like play with that data, right? So after that deep learning, if you want to transition into computer vision, so there are specialized neural network algorithms for computer vision called CNN. Knowing about CNN is a must. I would say take it about at least 2 weeks completely. Devote your time and learn about CNN. All the basics parts of a CNN, from convolution, from pooling, from like different type of stuff, all that. What is a kernel, different type of kernels, all that stuff you need to know. Let take about 2 weeks in that. And after that, you can build a project on CNN, using basic CNN. After that, depends on your task, right? If you're building a object detection model, so go for YOLO models, RCNNs, faster RCNNs, learn about all those algorithms. That would be good enough. YOLO is used quite a lot in the industry. You never would build a YOLO from a scratch, but knowing the algorithm from scratch is definitely important because they do ask about how YOLO is implemented, but you would never implement the YOLO in actual. After that, similarly, what you do in NLP after you have reached all your models in NLP, different types of tasks in NLP, like sentiment classification, all that stuff, summarization, all that stuff you have completed with that. Similarly, you go to generative AI at that state. Similarly, in computer vision also you can transition into generative AI, learn about vision transformers, learn about detection transformers, what type of different transformers are present, play around with transformers, try to learn fine tuning, try to learn RAG, try to learn agent systems, list goes on, try to learn about end-to-end projects with computer vision and just play around with everything. What new things can you learn? And I would say that should be enough. And talking about the resources, when you said YouTube is a great resource. There's a channel if you are a person who likes, like, I want content in Hindi, you can definitely go for CampusX. CampusX is a great collection of videos, I would say, for computer vision. Like, end to end, everything is completely present if you want like content in Hindi. For computer vision, Krish Nayak doesn't have a lot of content, I would say, compared to CampusX, but his previous videos are present. But yeah, all deep learning plays in that he has covered computer vision, but I would say CampusX is still better because everything is fresh right now.
So coming to computer vision, like I would like to ask you some of the technical questions in computer vision. So what is the difference between cleaning a data set, like if the data set is an image or when the data set is a tabular image? What's the difference in pre-processing? Second, during the feature engineering for image data and the normal data, the text data or the tabular data, whatever.
Okay, fine. So when you work with tabular data, right, you try to basically for tabular data and image data, one thing is common. You try to analyze what different patterns you can find in your data. That is very common, right? Coming on to the cleaning part, all the in the tabular data, you try to find what are duplicate values, what are missing values, all that stuff, basic EDA aspect, right? So tabular data, I think you might know. Coming on to image data, when you talk about image data, so image data might have, like, if you have taken image from your phone, so basically maybe your image is blurred, if that is the case, and your object is not quite visible properly. In that case, you need to apply smoothing algorithms, you need to apply like filtering algorithms to like better out that part. Or also when there's an image, right? So basically when we portray as image, we see pixels because for a model it takes numbers, right? We need to say that this has to be some numbers, and pixel is given as intensity is from 0 to 255. So in an image, basically your whatever part you are looking for, that might be in some space, remaining else is not required for you. So all that part is smoothened out. It is done in the image filtering stage before applying all the CNN part. All that part will be filtered out, and it is basically called ROI data, region of interest. Okay, so before applying your CNN to original data, first you need to convert your data into ROI, so that you only deal with the pixels which are like quite required by you. Because when it goes into CNN, right, what CNN tries to do is it takes multiple pixels and it tries to find what type of pixels are present where and what are like different like relationship between each pixels and all that stuff. So, okay, so that smoothing part, all that stuff will be done. And tabular data, I have already told you. So that's the basic difference.
Smoothing, filtering, and everything.
Yeah.
And then the
Converting
model
into
goes
ROI,
into the
basically.
CNN model or whatever model you are going to.
Yeah, CNN is the backbone of every model. Basically, CNN will be used for every model. After that, some new like parts and all that will be done. But CNN is base.
Okay.
Just to add up on that, like you told, let's consider a project. So you told what are the differences where we can focus on and everything. Now let's talk about resources. So every ML model, the main thing is data. It falls down to that. Now coming to computer vision, you have data on Kaggle, you have data available on Google, and sometimes you have to even make data on your own. So how tough does situation become at that time? Any idea about that?
Okay, fine. So that's a huge problem in the field of computer vision, getting the relevant data, because getting data from Kaggle is not always good enough, because computer vision algorithms required a huge amount of data. It might be, for my use case, we had about 1,25,000 images, all 4K. And when I unzipped everything, it was about 250 GB of data. And you need to parse out everything, you need to filter out everything. So that's quite a hectic job. But all those data, you would not find it publicly. You have to, like, because my data, we requested one university from China. I don't remember the name exactly. We requested them that we are doing the research on this field and we require this data. So they were like quite happy to give us the data. So they gave us the access. So we use that data. So that's how it was proceeded. But if you need open world data sets, UCIA is a place, University of something, Irvine, or I guess something. UCI is a place where you can get great data sets on computer vision. And for computer vision, the one-stop solution would be RoboFlow. RoboFlow is a platform where you can get great data sets on computer vision, and you can get end-to-end projects also. You can get end-to-end implementations also. You will learn about algorithms. So all that stuff in one place. But yeah, data set is a problem. Getting relevant data for your research project, you will have to ask university, or you would have to ask the source who has made that data. If you might be reading a research paper and the whatever the redirection is towards which whoever has created that data set, you have to directly ask them that, can you like give us the data? If not, you can find some publicly available data set, you can club everything and then train your model. That is also one strategy. Yeah.
So coming to projects, so I'm giving you a hypothetical scenario. Let's say you want to create your dream data science project, fine, and you don't have any constraints. What would be that project? You can take your time.
My dream data science project.
Yeah,
Okay,
there are no constraints.
okay, I started with a project called IPL Win Predictor.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, it was, what it does is, when you see the second innings of a score of any match, of any cricket match, then you also see that there's a prediction involved. Like, what is the chance of that team winning based on whatever the first team who has batted first and whatever they have scored and whatever the current situation of the match in second innings. So that part, so that was there. That I already built, but I wanted to add more integrations. Like, for me, the constraint was that in IPL, what happens is teams change like every 2 to 3 years. I cannot do a study on player to player wise, because I wanted, for me, prediction was between teams, right? Or maybe Mumbai Indians has 20% chance of winning and Chennai Super Kings has about 80% chance of winning. And if you say Faf du Plessis is playing this season in Chennai Super Kings, but maybe next season he's playing in RCB. So I cannot do a player to player analysis on whether that player will impact whether Chennai Super Kings is winning or RCB is winning. Because if I consider Faf du Plessis as my constraint here, like let's say I'm doing a study on Faf du Plessis, he would also add up to RCB's win prediction, because whatever he has played for CSK, that also will be added up to RCB. So that I had a constraint with that. So I never thought of that. How should I do that? Because my data set wasn't relevant enough. But if I were ever have to get a data set on that, so I would like to build on that. Also, there is a thing called based on whatever that team has performed over the years. Before the match, also you can predict. Basically, you see, right, on the Google.
Head to head. Head to head.
Head to head, that is another thing. But after that, they also say initial match prediction, whoever wins. You can check Google once, or you can check before any match. They also give a prediction before the match. So how is that done? Uh, Over the years, how has that team has performed from the start, when the laws of cricket by MCC was written in 1877. From that point to this point, the entire data set is considered, because Google has access to ICC's datasets. So yeah, so that entire thing is considered. Based on that only, this prediction is involved. That prediction can be given. But currently they don't like take the data before 1975, I guess, because 1975 pre that war era and all that stuff. So that was not that time cricket didn't peak. But cricket is now like this modernized way of cricket is different. Teams play differently nowadays. Before it was about Australia and West Indies and England, but now it's about Australia, England, and India. So that's how the scenario has changed. So if I didn't have any constraints, I would love to have that data set. I would love to build a model on that. Then I would love to integrate this as a product, and maybe like people can use that. Yeah, that would be my dream project. Yeah.
So what would your project be, Satyam? Just curiosity peeking in here.
I have to think about it.
You can take your time. We have the whole night.
Okay, you tell first. I'll come back to it.
I hope your dream projects are in the field of NLP, I guess, because you guys are lot. You have invested a lot of your time in NLP, right? So I guess.
I guess my dream project would then be, making Jarvis, like the hologram plus everything.
Yeah,
Just
I too
it's
was
a-
fascinated by Iron Man and Jarvis when I. That basically brought me into the field of AI.
I mean, I think as a kid,
Okay, what
everyone-
brought you in the field of AI?
me personally,
Everyone needs a story to tell before an interview, so
fair.
Oh, before the interview.
you should have a story.
So before an interview, everybody wants a story. Your interviewer likes to hear a story. Like, how did you get into this field from the start? So how would that story be for you?
For me, it started off firstly with Iron Man. I think everyone who has done ML or most of them have this thing that
That's actually
once
okay, for your
you
case,
want to make Jarvis.
Yeah, that's like a lot of people are quite fascinated. In one of my interviews, I made up this that also I was also fascinated by Jarvis. That's why I got into data science, but it was just because of web development. So but I wanted to have a story that I just wanted to have a story. I cannot say to my interview that I don't like web development because if after this also like to have add up one more thing like what actually you do in your company. That's not entirely data science. You just do data science for a week and the next 1 month is involved in integrated that, and that integration part is basically backend. So you won't be building models forever, basically. Yeah. Coming on to that part, like
Yeah, so it started from Jarvis, and then you see those YouTube videos. They take it, and then there's this YouTube channel called The Hacksmith, and they like make these things real life. They made Thor's hammer in real life.
okay. I think I know about this channel. He's selling that project for about $500, I guess.
I'm not sure on that.
I visited his website once. I'm not sure is that Hacksmith or something because I have visited one person's website and he was selling a project. That's what it was about. Like he involved like real life Jarvis and integrated machine learning into it, and he was selling that project for $500. That's a lot. Like that would be around 80,000 or 90,000 rupees for just a course.
Yeah.
So I don't.
That's actually a lot. And then I see those videos and I'm like, okay, shit, this is implementable. It's not a fictional thing anymore. And then the more you research into it on how it's done and everything, and then it falls in, okay, it's just maths.
yeah.
In the end, it's just maths, whatever you're doing. And maths is something that I have really been interested in since childhood. So things were just aligning at its place. And of course, failure of web development, DSA, all the other possibilities you can think of, and eventually landing on machine learning. I myself didn't start from analysis. I was like that dude who directly, did the Andrew NG course, and I was like, I'm an ML engineer, straight up.
Everybody thinks that, like, when they have done with the Andrew NG course and they think that now they are ready to be an ML engineer.
But it is actually a very good base.
Actually, Andrew NG's course, if you have made good notes and if you have invested a lot of your time in Andrew NG's course, so basically that would be really beneficial for your interviews because your interview questions are directly asked from Andrew NG's course, directly asked because your interview also has studied Andrew NG. That's why. Like that's the core of machine learning. Like everybody needs to know that because if you have done that, then go for any projects, go to YouTube, learn about a project, watch a 2 to 3 hour video first, then try to implement all those stuffs by your own, or like try implementing, like you have watched 2 hour video here, 2 hour video here. Now try to build up like a single thing, like clubbing both the videos which you have seen, try to build an end-to-end project. just be innovative, man. Just try to build something unique. That's it.
So coming to this data science projects and everything, what do you think, and even the learning process, what do you think is the misunderstanding that students keep while
I think
learning?
we can add on to this by telling like there are some people who give good advices, some people who give stupid advices. What would be some of the stupid advices that you might have heard?
Or you might have given, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did have given a lot of stupid advices, I must say.
Did you realize at that moment, or was it on a purpose?
No, I didn't know.
Or you didn't know that?
I wouldn't give it any bad
If he
advice.
would have given it on purpose, he wouldn't have revealed it, right?
I wouldn't have said that on purpose because I'm just thinking about what type of bad advice I would have given.
No,
Study
what
DSA.
you have got. Yeah.
Bad advice.
Like obviously it depends on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, Bad advice. See, there are things which you need to be updated on. Like actually, so when you go on LinkedIn, you can find people like Mary Nova, and you can find people like Don Chu. There's some good influencers in data science domain, and if you follow them regularly, they good give some good advice every day. But before I didn't follow a lot of data science influencers, so I was like, whatever the people used to say to me, like this is important or this is important, you should learn this, you should learn that. So I thought that maybe that his like whatever point of view or her point of view would have been correct. But if you need good advice, okay, I'll come to your question of bad advice also. If you need good advice, following some good influencers on LinkedIn would be a great option rather than just listening to your colleagues or something. If you're getting advice from an experienced person who's already in the industry, that always helps. But getting advice from your colleagues, that might, because your colleague also doesn't know like whatever saying. He just watched a video and he's saying that okay, this happens and this is the reality and all that stuff. Okay, so I won't reveal the name, but I was said by one person sometime that it happened some long time ago, like let's say 6 to 7 months back, that uh, DevOps is not a thing for machine learning. So I didn't focus on creating end-to-end applications using machine learning. I thought maybe research is what machine learning is all about. But that time I was also into research that time, but I was not ever never like I was also open to other technologies, learning cutting edge tools which are currently in the market, like MLflow, Grafana, Airflow, if you have Kafka for this ETL pipelining and real-time data analysis, and one another tool, like if you also you can learn Kubernetes, you can learn Kubeflow, Minikube, CTL, and all that stuff. And these are all just cutting edge tools and technologies which are used currently in the industry. But I was said by one person sometime, because I think he might have also not known about that. But yeah, I was said by that person that maybe this is not required. I was studying that point. I dropped that idea. It was just stupid of me that I just dropped that, because I think if I would have started at that point, I would have had better projects currently. What I have not now. Not that I would have done a lot, because currently I'm also into MLOps from past like 3 months. But if I would have started before, I would have like increased my knowledge right now. Stupid advice, if you would say that I have given to some person, is what it would be. Okay.
DSA mat kar.
DSA mat kar. I don't think I have said to anyone that DSA mat kar, because I think in my heart I also thought that some point of time I will struggle in my interviews if DSA comes on. I did struggle. Fortunately for me, questions were whatever I did practice on. But you definitely struggle if you don't DSA. A lot of people say that DSA is not required for data science, but it's absolutely required. And you should at least do some questions on arrays and strings. That's actually crucial, because for your logic building also, it actually makes you a better programmer. You won't realize it now maybe, but when you go to a company, or not before, before that also, if you do DSA, you definitely realize that you are highly confident in programming now. If you do DSA for continuously for 2 weeks, you would think in a different way. Any problem which you are not doing chat GPT, your mind would say that maybe I'll try to do that on my own. And that's a great thing. Okay, I think bad advice, if you want to say, uh, mm, bad advice. I don't think, man, that bad advice I would have said to anyone about. I can't recall anything. If you have anything in mind, maybe I can say that. Like, if you have like heard any bad advice from your colleagues, maybe I would have heard a similar thing. So I can't recall now.
For me, once it was that I was working on an ML model, and you select your model depending on the type of data you're working on, right? There are a lot of conditions that come in on your data while you're selecting your model. So there was this guy, he came to me and he's like, ये data analyze करने वाला ये सब काम तुम्हारा नहीं होता है, ये data analyst को देते हैं.
That is one thing. Yes.
I've heard this 2-3 times from people, and that time I was like, yeah. And
The same thing happened to me when I started with analytics and a bit of data science. They're like, you don't have DL, you don't have NLP, you just focus on the basic part, EDL and everything. That's what you have to do. I'm like, okay. That's one advice.
So that thing kind of got cleared recently when I finished my internship.
There's a thing called a full stack data scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what a full stack data scientist does is he knows the end-to-end knowledge of each and every step of a data science project, entire life cycle, starting from data ingestion, because you should know from where the data is coming in and what to do with that data, how to pass on to that data to the feature engineering process, for the machine learning process, and your steps doesn't end when you have built a model. Maintaining that model on the production server is really important. There is a thing called data drift. There is a thing called concept drift when you learn about machine learning operations technologies like ML ops. So that time you will get to know about when you deploy a model on server, deploy a model on production. Let's say you are building a email spam detection algorithm or something like that, like whatever email is spam or not. So if it is trained on your local data, if it is trained on your previous data, so there might be a case that some if there is a if there's a person who is a, let's say, spammer or something, who is doing a malicious activity, who is an attacker for you. In the cybersecurity terms, they say attacker. So if there's an attacker, so if he finds a new way of sending you spam emails, so if that already hasn't been trained on your current data set, it would be considered as a data drift, because your model already hasn't seen that type of data, and it might say that, okay, previously this thing, because your model works on a bias that, okay, this type of data is considered spam, but if that's not the case, I'll not consider it as spam. So that's a bias involved in email spam detection algorithms. So when that comes, so it would say that, okay, it is not spam, so it will basically keep it in the not spams category. And then there's an attacker who has sent you an email and it's not in spam, then you click a link from him, then you are dead, I would say, because he might do a lot of things with you.
So I guess that was all for the technical questions we had. Now, final few questions. What are your future plans? आगे के क्या plans हैं?
आगे के plans for me, okay, currently I'm looking for doing a job for, let's say, 2 to 3 years. After that, it would depend on what state of life I am at that point. But currently, I just want to pursue masters at that moment. Maybe it can be MBA as well. But okay, so maybe I would leave data science at some point, or maybe if I feel new technologies are coming up and I find interest in that, maybe I'll continue my job, or maybe do a master's in a specialized field in the field of artificial intelligence. But that's a story like next after 2 to 3 years. But currently, I'm looking to continue my job.
What's the duration of your current internship, which is going
At 6 months.
6 months? Is it extendable?
It is extensible, and also they have been talks with full time also. So
So, yeah, that's all you have from your side.
I guess this.
Okay, so one last question. So this is technically your last semester. You won't be here from the next semester.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel. So can you just describe your 7 semesters journey in this college?
7 semesters journey, man.
What are your learnings?
7 semesters. 7 semesters quite hectic, man. Because
All 7.
Huh?
No, I'm asking the journey of
All
college.
7 semesters.
Yes. Till now
Oh,
in this
all
college.
7 semesters.
Yeah.
Okay, mine was happy.
What are you learning?
We had a big group.
Yeah.
Okay.
15-20 members.
Maybe you know about confidential part. Maybe you know about what is classified. Maybe you know about how elections happen. So if you know that it's insider story for people who know that, good luck to you. But for people who don't know, I won't say a thing.
It's beautiful, man, because college life is beautiful actually. If you leave the part that we are currently in Sri City, but apart from that,
ये एडिटर ये कट कर देना साला अगला पॉडकास्ट नहीं मिलेगा फिर
Okay, except the part that we are in Sri City.
ये
And
सेटिंग किया
I really hope you don't cut that part because I've said it twice now. So
I have made really good friends. Friends is what is, I actually say that it makes your life beautiful in college. Also, the fests, also.
Juniors like us.
yeah, I would come to that. First for me.
So I play table tennis. So I have been to multiple tournaments, won multiple tournaments. So all that part was also beautiful. Some juniors involved in that. I'll give shout out to a guy called Sambhav. So he has been a great buddy to me. We have been playing table tennis for so long, and Harshvardhan Gupta and Parthirache, my TT buddies. Also, that was about table tennis. Okay, and enjoyed a lot. Went to multiple trips. Went to Pondicherry. Went to Coorg, and yeah. So I guess it's my last semester, but still, maybe in the job market, maybe I'll find some new friends, and maybe I hope to continue this friendship with my current friends as well.
Nice. अभी भी हमारे लिए कुछ बोलते नहीं.
कितना डेस्परेट है तू छोड़ दे
Okay. Huge shout out to Satyam
ये क्या
and Aditya Pandey as well.
अरे
Okay, for these two people, I got to know there are some people dancing in front of our college red signal at IIIT Sri City. I would say the word, but yeah, IIIT Sri City is red color, I would say. People were dancing, so I got to know there's a guy called Satyam, there's a guy called Aditya Pandey, and yeah, then we took their classes for some time with my seniors. Also, they have been good. They have been pretty good juniors because they obey whatever I say. And also in Matrix, I guess we have done a lot of things. Conducted multiple hackathons, conducted pop quizzes. Also, maybe I also learned something good from you because when I stopped doing MLOps, you were the one who said about MLOps and all that, and then I kept thinking that maybe I should get back into this because some guy might have told me other thing, but maybe because he's doing and he has different set of friends, maybe in their circle MLOps is famous and all that. So yeah, you also taught me some things. I would like to thank you for that. So to you. And yeah, I would say it's last semester, but still, I would say I would be in touch with you whenever you need guidance or anything. Referrals, of course, referrals. So LinCode is also hiring for full time next year. So I would definitely like to give you referrals if you want.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming here.
Thanks a lot, Satyam. Thanks a lot, Aditya.
So this is it, guys, and thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.